All right, welcome back to Adam Versus, and today is NFL Draft Day. This is one of my favorite days of the year as a sports fan because today all the teams are back in the Super Bowl race or hunt, if you want to call it. This is the day that everyone has a chance to fix their team or make their team better, to improve their team so their fans show up to the stadium and support them again after maybe what was one of their worst seasons ever, especially like teams like the Browns and the Giants had a pretty bad season last year. But so far, the news today is kind of important in terms of where people are gonna go. I just seen the news that about Josh Allen having some tweets or something, offensive tweets made in high school. Like I don't know how. I mean, I guess that affects him in terms of maybe if the Browns were on the fence. I mean, maybe they say, okay, well, we don't want nothing to do with that. We've made some bad decisions in the past, and you know, we just want to stay away from all that. So maybe the Browns will just say, hey, we're gonna just take Baker Mayfield. Get away from any controversy. So on my draft board, this is what you're looking at here. If you want to go full screen, you'll be able to see what I'm looking at a little better. But on my draft card, I had Josh Allen being taken #1 overall just because of the talk about the Browns taking him #1 overall. I really wouldn't have taken him if I was a Browns fan. I would have stayed away just because they need a sure thing. They don't, like, I understand the talk about Josh Allen. Oh, his ceiling's so high. Well, I mean, your ceiling doesn't really matter. I mean, it's where you perform at, the level you perform at. And the Browns have a terrible history of developing quarterbacks. And so I think that instead of trying to develop a guy that could be great, they should take somebody that is just good now and can maybe get a little bit better based on playing time, experience, coaching, whatever. And that's why and there's some news out there that the Browns are going to take Baker Mayfield #1 overall, which, I mean, I looked at the stats, and the stats support that. I mean, I know it's college, but like the main thing with college, I mean, they're playing with guys their same age in talent level, maybe not talent level, but like the players that they're playing with are players that are gonna eventually go to the NFL, and those players are gonna be who they're playing against. Maybe not this year as much as maybe 3 years down the road. This core college group of players will eventually be in the NFL. And those are Baker Mayfield now is one of the best of those college players now. So in 2-3 years, when the NFL evolves, players retire, and these new group of players come up, he is going to be the best of those as well. So like, I think it's important to remember that, because a lot of times they're like, oh, okay, well, his game doesn't translate to the NFL. Maybe not Baker Mayfield's, but in players in general. Like maybe Lamar Jackson, like, oh, okay, well, you know, he has a little bit of accuracy issues. Teams want him to be a wide receiver or whatever they're trying to get him to do because they don't have confidence in him translating to the NFL. So in 2 or 3 years, the game will change. Like 2 or 3 years ago, all the teams were focusing on spreading offenses out with 3, 4, 5 wide receivers, and they barely used running backs. Today, they're using more and more running backs. I'm gonna guess they're gonna start drafting a couple more tight ends here and there to help run blocking, and it seems like the game's evolving back to that type of run first mentality. Maybe not so much right now, but maybe next year, in the year after that. Even John Gruden said he wanted to, you know, be a hard-nosed, grinded out 1996 or whatever he said team. So it's going to be important to remember that. So for me, the Browns taking Mayfield number 1, I don't think would be a bad pick. So I'm going to take him. I had him going to the Jets. I'm just going to switch them for now. I still think the Giants might take a quarterback, but I just think their best pick is Barkley, just because I think he's probably the best player in the draft. But I understand how teams shy away from running backs. So one of the things I wanted to look at was the tweets, because this could end up hurting Allen's draft stock severely. First round prospect Josh Allen is under heat, blah blah blah, NFL draft day. Most of the tweets were from 2012 to 2013. Yeah, I mean, to me, you shouldn't. Why are they going back and digging into high school tweets? I mean, I understand they want to find character, you know, flaws or reasons to like separate them. But I mean, I'm assuming in high school, I mean, he was probably a standout in high school, but at the same time, they're young. You know, you're talking about 16, 17-year-old kids playing football, and they're supposed to watch what they say, and maybe they have their own group of friends that, you know, he probably didn't have thousands upon thousands of Twitter followers, and, you know, he just probably thought he was tweeting amongst his friends. Not that that makes it okay, but it changes, you know, the platform that he's using, only because he's not talking to everybody, in a sense that he probably was talking to his friends, but I can't speak for that. So I just think that when we look at players, we look too far back. I mean, you shouldn't penalize this kid for something he said years ago in high school. I mean, if it was something that happened last year while he was playing college, I mean, I guess then you could use that. But for now, I'm going to switch Allen and Mayfield for now. I honestly think the Jets might shy away from him now. It could be something where they end up taking Darnold. I got Darnold. Let's do that. Let's switch Darnold. I don't think Allen will fall. I think he'll go to Denver. And then I don't think Miami will take Rosen here. I think somebody will trade up and grab him in this range. Maybe somebody like the Colts will trade out. Maybe Chicago will trade out. Even San Francisco could trade out, because San Francisco made a deal last year to get some more picks to improve their team. So I could see San Francisco trading out of there as well. So I want to go to, I look at some of the other news that's out there. Yeah, here's the mounting belief. Browns take Baker Mayfield. Adam Schefter reports there's blah blah blah. Baker Mayfield with the #1 pick. See, they're conflicting right there. Mary Kay Cabot reported on Wednesday the Browns were down to Mayfield and Wyoming's Josh Allen, and it sounds like they are leaning Mayfield. So with the news today, with the tweets, I would say they're going to take Mayfield, which is kind of surprising. I thought he was the best quarterback last year, but if you look at his stats, he's only gotten better. Not really count his Texas Tech years, but he did still have a 64% completion percentage, only 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But as you can see, when he got to Oklahoma, he improved drastically, and then each year he got better. So yeah, I mean, NFL GMs like 4-year starters. It just for them, it gives them the experience, and when they jump to the NFL, they've already had that experience of commanding the huddle and being the guy that everybody looks to push the team forward and be a leader. So it makes sense that 4-year starters are valuable to NFL teams, because they already have that established leadership. So and then if you look at they said Josh Allen, let's go to complete leaders. Where is he at? He's not even on the leaders. So, and the thing with Josh Allen is he's not ready. He doesn't have the completion percentage. I know they said there was some injury issue that kept him from being completely accurate, but again, if that bothered him last year, I mean, why wouldn't it? I mean, is he completely healthy now? I mean, is there reason to believe that, you know, the issue would go ahead into the NFL? I don't know, honestly. And then there's Sam Darnold. I watched him a little bit last year. I don't know. There's something about him. I just don't think he's got it. Like, he looks okay at times, and then at times it looks like, what's he doing out there? I mean, his numbers look good, but that's because he's on a USC team that is a pretty good team. I mean, on college talent level, they get some of the best college talent you can find. So like, and you put just about any quarterback on that team and they're gonna have decent numbers. So I don't know. I don't have a problem with the Browns taking Baker. I mean, I'm not saying it's a perfect pick. He could easily be Johnny Manziel. I mean, because essentially he's going to have more. He's going to be more scrutinized because he is a #1 pick, where Manziel was like the 22nd, I believe. So it could be even harder for Mayfield, because then he's got that guy that everybody's comparing him to, in Manziel, because he'll end up being, you know, constantly compared. Oh, if he has a bad game, well, how did he react? Did he act like Manziel, or did he say something, you know, that people don't like, or whatever the case may be? But I would think he would be fine. We just can't compare the two because they're two different people, but I understand the similarities. So let's go ahead and jump in. So I've had Chubb going to the Browns at 4, but I mean, this isn't a guarantee. I know they were talking about trading out. So, I mean, that's possible. You could see another quarterback going here and then the trade out. I know Buffalo wants a quarterback, so maybe Buffalo will trade up there. And I've even heard talk about the Patriots, but I have them taking Mason Rudolph down here for now. And let me see if there's more draft news. Oh yeah, I just read this. This is the Saints seeking to trade up in draft for QB, which is kind of shocking given that they just re-signed Breeze, but it's not shocking because of the Breeze's age. So it'd be nice to see what they do, especially in a quarterback deep draft like this is right now. So I would like to catch up on some of this latest news. Most of it is just signings and the Josh Allen stuff. Okay, so what do you guys think? What do you think the Browns are gonna go Mayfield? Do you think they're gonna just stick with Allen? What about the Giants? Should they draft Saquon, or should they go with a quarterback? I mean, okay, let's look at it like this. Let's say the Giants take Darnold. Maybe he's number 1 on their board. They had, you know, they're projecting to pick Barkley because they were under the assumptions the Browns would take Darnold. So maybe now they take Sam Darnold. How far does Barkley fall? I mean, does he drop? Because the Jets need a quarterback. So if Baker Mayfield's gone, Sam Darnold's gone, do they go Josh Allen or do they go Josh Rosen? Will that bring up Rosen up here? And then does Barkley go to the Browns at 4? I mean, this is the kind of things that could happen. It's kind of crazy to see that. I don't know. I shouldn't have saved that, but I think it's possible. Definitely possible that happens. I mean, I think that something like this is going to happen. These quarterbacks, Mayfield, Darnold, Rosen, Allen, I think they're going to go in the top 10. I'm almost positive they're going to go in the top 10. When those guys are gone, I think there'll be a gap. It may not be the top 5 picks that these quarterbacks go, but I'm predicting that they'll go in the top 10 because I don't see one dropping to Miami at 11. So, and then there'll be a little bit of a gap with Lamar Jackson, Rudolph, and what other quarterbacks? They got White, Falk, Lualetta, Riley Ferguson. So there'll be a gap there after they're taken. So let's see. So let's look at some of these mock drafts. I'm not too sure when these were done. Okay, it looks like these were done today and yesterday. Mayock's was yesterday. Let's look at Mayock's because I like how he breaks players down. So Mayock has Darnold. Jeremiah has Baker Mayfield, Brooks, Darnold, Casserly, Darnold. I'm guessing that Mayock's is this way because he did it yesterday. But everybody else has Saquon Barkley going second except Bucky Brooks, then Baker. So I'm guessing whoever the Browns don't take, the Jets are going to take. And let's see. Mayock has Darnold, Barkley, Mayfield, Chubb, Quentin Nelson, Josh Allen going to the Bills with a trade with the Colts. It looks like it's unanimous that Derwin James is going to go to the Buccaneers. So then we got Chicago taking Roquan Smith, Denzel Ward. This one's kind of there's quite a few players being considered for San Francisco. They got Ward, McGlinchey, Edmonds. Then the Raiders has McGlinchey, Fitzpatrick, Vita Vea. The Dolphins are looking at Tremaine Edwards to Josh Rosen to Baker Mayfield to Vita Vea. So they're all over the place with them too. So the Bills. So then the Colts would take Fitzpatrick there. And Vita Vea, Alexander, Rosen going all the way down to 15 to the Cardinals, and Baltimore's Lamar Jackson. I could see that happening, I guess, but quarterbacks are so valuable that I think that teams are going to trade up. Deron Payne to the Chargers, Davenport to the Seattle, Cortland Sutton to the Cowboys, which is kind of interesting because they definitely need a replacement for Dez. Harold Landry to the Lions, Frank Ragnow to the Bengals, Isaiah Wynn to the Colts, Colton Miller to the Patriots, Calvin Ridley to Panthers, and Rashaan Evans to the Titans, Taven Bryan to the Falcons, and DJ Moore to the Saints. Wow, Sonny Michael going to the Steelers, really? Hayden Hurst, which the Jaguars could use a tight end, so that'd be interesting to see if they take him. Will Hernandez to the Vikings, James Daniels, and Darius Geist to the Eagles. I have to say this is going to be an interesting draft, though, because all the quarterbacks, all the indecision really of, like, usually like teams are like, oh, this is who we're taking and that's it, and there's a clear cut number one. This year it's not. So like you could see Sam Darnold, a lot of them have him as number one. He could drop, you know, quite a bit, maybe to 5th or 6th or something, possibly, but it's definitely going to be an interesting draft, and I think whoever the Browns take first will end up affecting the rest of the draft. Like, I mean, I see it being crazy because once somebody's player is taken, they might react and trade out and give somebody else their pick because they wanted a certain player. So there could be 4 or 5 trades easily this draft for the first round, maybe even more, because the need for quarterbacks so important. So I'm gonna end the stream here. Again, this is gonna be a fun draft. Go ahead and throw your comments below, like what you guys think as far as where people are gonna go, maybe who you'd like to see teams take, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and definitely subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos. And thanks for watching.